Well, Mark, thanks for joining me today.
My pleasure. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I've seen you at a couple events throughout the past year,
Hmm.
but I feel like I've known you for much longer.
It feels like that. I mean, it's funny when you're on stage with someone. There's already a sort of a bonding of the fear of I hope this goes well. I hope we do well
Yes.
together.
Yes.
That's the funny thing about the industry. People stay in it for so long, and you bump
Yes.
into each other. I saw someone in Lisbon a few weeks ago, and I just bumped him on the street in Vegas, and he lives on a different continent. And so it's funny how the industry works like that.
It is weird. It's crazy because yeah, we met literally just in March, I think.
Yeah.
And we had our panel kind of pivot at the last minute. We're like
Yes.
several days
Many
before.
times.
We were on a completely different panel within an hour.
Yeah.
You guys did amazing. But when we were on stage, it was Greg from Sports Grid and you and myself. I was up there and I was like, I don't even know why I'm here. You guys were just so entertaining to listen to. And I was like, I wish so many more people could listen to what you guys have to say because you guys were just shooting the breeze like it was just so effortless. I don't know why you're not on every single stage at every one of these conventions because you're such a fantastic public speaker.
I appreciate that, but you were also a good point guard in making sure everything moved well. I mean, I think anytime you sit down next to someone, and Greg and I realized 5 minutes before that we're born at the same hospital,
Are you
is just-
serious?
is the weirdest way to just feel at ease with everyone you're on stage
Yeah.
with. So that was a fun one.
But I felt so lucky that with a big pivot like that, I was like, I got the best. I feel like I selfishly got the best team. So it was great. But then I was at SBC and I didn't know you were there, but I was chatting with my friend Joanna and we always connected each one of these.
Yeah.
And she was telling me a little bit about her history and she was like, I had like this great boss and he was so incredible. Like when I transitioned out, like he went and introduced me to all these people that he knew. Anyway, so we're chatting and then we see you at like the party, the last night party.
Right?
And she was like, "Oh, this is Mark." I'm like, that's my Mark. Like what are you talking about? How do you know? It was so crazy. Just such a small world, like you said.
It is, and I'm such a fan of Joanna's. I always tell everyone that works with us that I want you to be moving to a better job when you leave. Like that is my job as your boss, and it's happened a couple times, and it always stings when it doesn't work out for whatever reason.
Right.
Whether it's not a good fit or someone backs up a Brinks truck, which has happened more than once,
What?
and just someone got poached for a high value, and I'm like, I can't match
Oh, got it.
that.
Yeah.
And I'll keep rooting for you, but
Yes.
vaya con Dios. So
Yes.
it's such a small industry that if you don't treat people right,
Yeah.
it's gonna come back and bite you in the ass.
You're either going to work with them or you're going to work for them.
Right.
They might work for you, but you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't want to make any enemies in this space. But I can't imagine you have any problem with that. But,
I choose my battles.
yeah.
I mean, there are definitely the things that I'm not a fan of. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, to be blunt, I'm a black man in tech. There aren't many of me. I don't go a year without being at a conference where someone thinks I'm the help. I don't
Really?
go more than a year.
Really?
And so it is something I don't wear on my sleeve too often.
Yeah.
And I mean, hell, without putting myself on the couch a little bit, it might be why I try to be extra personable to folks because it is different for folks that don't fit the typical vibe,
Right.
the typical mold, let's say, of what someone in gaming looks like.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes challenging to break out of those lanes and guardrails. So the tunnel vision that sometimes people have.
Yeah. Yeah. The starting line is different for you than for
It is.
all of the other white males that are predominantly in the industry. Yeah.
I just came back from SBC Lisbon. Had a great show.
Yeah.
Lisbon's beautiful.
Yes.
Cobblestones are beautiful. They broke my roller bag. Like I rolled on one too many and had to carry my bag for the last few days. But I mean, even the gender dynamics at a show like an SBC Lisbon versus a G2E is noticeable. I mean, the number of booth babes you might see in Europe is very different than the number of booth babes you might see in the
Higher or
States.
lower?
Way higher.
Okay. Yeah.
Way higher.
Yeah.
And it's just a fascinating industry. And we all have our own quirks and our own wonderful things and our own challenges that we're working to fix. But yeah, I think there are interesting dynamics that are always bubbling under the surface.
I was just talking to my friend Julia. She came in. You probably know her. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. It's German, but
Okay.
she is mostly in the international gaming space. But she was saying how the U.S. is much more corporate in our approach to these shows, which I think there's a little bit of a correction happening right now where there's not as many booth babes, Okay, maybe we're not going to go to the strip club for like our business meeting. But she's like, that's not the case over there yet anyway. But she's like, but I think we could probably adopt some of that and incorporate, just a little less like, exploitation of people. It's slowly catching up. But
To each their own. I mean, I'm not a drinking beer at 11 a.m. on the conference floor. No. I mean, if that's your vibe, it's your vibe.
Exactly. That's not for me, but I don't care if that's for you. So you have a very interesting story, but your background is that you're previous MIT, right? Like you're not just tech, you're like the tech.
I mean, I dropped out my senior year, so when I'm filling out surveys, I have to put high school graduate. But
no, isn't there one for some college? Because that's what
sometimes
I have to check.
Yeah, sometimes there are. Okay, strength in numbers.
Yeah.
I dropped out late, but I'm a computer science major at heart. When I started Are You Watching This, which is the parent company of MetaBet, I started it thinking building a startup will be easy. I had this one particular problem of I hate waking up in the morning and knowing there was a no-hitter on TV the night before, and I was raking the leaves or doing laundry or something stupid like that.
Right.
And I thought, let me quit my job, get rid of my healthcare, because who needs healthcare? I'm 27.
You're healthy enough.
It's
fine.
overrated. Riding around on a scooter around Austin, surrounded by pickup trucks. Who needs healthcare? And I thought, I can build this. And being able to build almost anything I want is a blessing and a curse. Because not only do I have to tell customers no, I have to tell myself no. That product would be I just want to spend a weekend building that. And having the self-control to stay focused on what the company needs and not what I would enjoy building has been challenging.
Yeah. So tell me about Are You Watching This?
This was the start of it. Rewind to 2007. Boise State, Oklahoma. Fiesta Bowl, Statue of Liberty play, one of the biggest upsets ever. And that was the first, this game is exciting alert we ever sent out. The idea is if we look at stats, box scores, pitch by pitch, shot by shot, can we find those exciting games in real time? Mm-hmm. This might date our podcast a little bit, but Broncos just won, just beat the Eagles. Mm-hmm. And if you just look at the words Broncos, whatever it was, 21, Eagles 17, fourth quarter, 30 seconds left, in our brain, we do all these lookups of, ooh, that's an upset. The Eagles just won. They're undefeated. This might be interesting. The game's in the balance. All those things that we do in our head from 25 characters is really what our system does as well. It understands who's good, who's supposed to be good. It understands rivalries and all of that to just make sure that sports fans like us, who don't want to sit down and watch a 4-hour Red Sox-Yankees baseball game,
right,
you get a digital tap on the shoulder when it's time to run to the couch.
For the ADHD brain like me, this is best case scenario. Best case scenario. Because I was telling you before, I love sports. I love them. If I'm there at the game, I will watch the whole thing from start to finish. But I'm not going to go sit down and watch a multiple hour game at all, pretty much ever. Even the Super Bowl, I can't sit that long.
It's unrealistic to ask.
Yeah, but I want the highlights. I want the exciting thing. I want to be tuned in along with the rest of the world before it's ruined for me. Which it always is. I'm always just catching the highlights. But yeah, that's best case scenario for so many people, especially now that the attention span is just shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. Mm-hmm. A product like that is just so much more desirable.
I like to think so. And I think we all say attention span, but I almost tweak that a little bit. I think there's so much more competition. I mean, Adam Silver said it, I don't know, about a month ago. The NBA is a highlight league. And I don't think I won't put that at the feet of lower attention span, as someone who definitely has a lower attention span than I used to. But there's so many curated experiences for us. Mm-hmm. I know if I open up Instagram and scroll for 30 seconds, I'm going to see 10 things that I'm going to enjoy. Because those algorithms are good and they know what I like and they know how to scratch that itch.
Yeah.
Sports doesn't have that. We kind of used to have that with SportsCenter.
Okay.
When SportsCenter was appointment viewing.
Yeah.
But I don't have my SportsCenter. The SportsCenter you want to watch is different than the SportsCenter I want to watch.
Right.
And if you imagine an Instagram experience where we all saw the same posts, like it sounds wild, but that's where the bar is for sports. And that's a big part of what we focus on. How do we get that curated, exciting package of moments, hopefully live in real time, that will delight every user individually?
So you built this tech that basically sends notifications to your phone for whatever you're interested in, right? You can tailor it. It's not like I'm not going to be getting golf
Right.
announcement, you know, I'm not interested in that, so no thanks, but I would love to get like volleyball or tennis or whatever. So you can like dial it in to what you want or the teams you want. But then when you click on it, what's it linking to? Is it linking to like social media? Is it linking to the actual ESPN? Where's it going?
It's a great question. So we're B2B.
Okay.
So if you install, let's say, the Fox Sports app, and you get an exciting game alert, and you get a little blurb of why that game is exciting, that's all powered by us.
I see. Okay, so you're integrated into their apps.
We are the guy behind the guy.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
And so it's a wide range of folks that use us. FanDuel Sports Network uses us.
Okay.
I live in Austin, so if Victor Wembanyama's going crazy, I'll get an alert for FDSN Southwest because I live in that geography.
Okay.
Versus someone like a Wingstop, the chicken wings place,
Okay.
they use our excitement data, predictively looking ahead, to make sure there's enough chicken wings in individual spots because a big game is coming.
Oh, really?
So we've lit up skyscrapers, different colors. Like there's all sorts of things you can do with excitement if you can curate in real time. But the most traditional sort of way to think about it is someone like a Fox Sports,
Yeah.
or someone like a DraftKings. I mean, the idea of giving you a nudge when it's time to maybe place an interesting bet. The holy grail for me, and I've been saying this one sentence for, feels like eons now. If I can send you an alert that says Luka Doncic has 60 points through 3 quarters, do you want to pay 99 cents to watch the finish? Or do you want to place a wager on if he'll beat Kobe's 81-point Lakers record? Place a wager and we'll let you watch for free.
Ah.
And so to me, that's the perfect personification of our 3 silos of curation, what should I watch? Discovery, how do I watch it?
Yeah.
And then the monetization aspect, which is where all the MetaBet stuff comes in.
Okay. So how does that tie in? Are FanDuel, are they using that MetaBet connection as well with the product that they currently have with you?
Not yet.
Not
We're
yet?
trying.
What? How is that not even?
I mean, that's what I'm working on this
Okay,
week.
well, if you're listening,
getting there.
how is that not a thing? That's so natural. That's just a natural next step, it seems like.
I mean, you're saying
Right?
that to a guy who had a lot more hair when I started this company. I mean, it's 20 years next year, which is a crazy thing to say.
Wow.
I realized over time that Are You Watching This, as morbid as it sounds, is the first sentence of the second paragraph of my obituary. It is my life's work.
Yeah.
And so going into these meetings and saying, hey, this is great. Like, people want this.
Yeah.
And them saying, maybe. Sometimes, just as an entrepreneur, it's hard not to feel a visceral reaction because this is so much of me in a way that makes it easier to get up in the morning and go work on something I'm so passionate about.
Right.
But also a part that's maybe a little unhealthy because I am physically and emotionally so attached to the highs and lows of the company.
Yeah.
And so hopefully we get there. I think we will. But it's I'm definitely been pushing this rock uphill for a while.
Do you feel like there's been a turn in recent years, which is more the push with gamification and iGaming and that accelerating forward?
I think so. I mean, when PASPA fell and MetaBet started to take off, the monetization aspect of everything we do, it definitely changed the tenor in the room.
Okay.
How we get the monetization folks, the folks using just the gambling side, the MetaBet side, to think more about curation and discovery. How we get the curation and discovery folks to think more about monetization.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's inevitable. I think every sports fan has had that feeling of, okay, which streaming service do I need to watch this one game that I want to watch? Someone just tell me.
Yes, yes.
And so I think they understand that just as sports fans.
Yeah.
And so I think we will see more of that. What should I watch? How do I watch? Data
Yes.
integrated everywhere.
That would be so helpful because I know for me, like my sports teams are not here in Nevada.
Right.
So when we moved here from California, I was like, where do we find it? Do we have to like buy the NFL package and then figure out the times and like, It's a whole thing. But most of the time, yeah, it's like, where do you even watch it? So,
It's a pain.
yeah.
I grew up in East Flatbush of Brooklyn. I am a 11236 kid at heart. I have a 512 area code from Austin, and I'm sitting here in Vegas. And that's just normal.
Yeah.
Our area codes used to mean something. Now it's just where I was living about 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so as we're more mobile, we have to cater to folks like you, to folks like me who aren't where our allegiances lie.
Yeah. That's interesting. But where do you feel like this is all headed? What's your prediction for the next couple of years?
Well, the one prediction I had when we met in March was that we weren't going to be talking about sweeps 12 months later. And I'm feeling good about that hot take.
Okay.
I think prediction markets are going to take off and sweeps are going to go by the wayside a little bit for various reasons. I hope that there's a return to focusing on the middle of the bell curve sports fan. There are sports fans that know the middle name of the backup center sitting on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like so often we're catering to them. The folks that want to see all the data and all the analysis and regression graphs and doing all these reports. But there's more of us that just want to watch a fun game of our favorite team or a thrilling game of a team maybe we've never heard of,
Right.
and then go back to doing the stuff we have to do. I can't commit a day to watching sports anymore. And part of that's just my age, and I acknowledge that. I got stuff to do.
Yeah.
I don't have those days where I can just sit at a bar and just drink all day and watch football all day long.
Right.
And I think there's so many of us. And as we start to cut the cord, this is my first time in my life not having cable. As of about a
Really?
month ago, I cut YouTube TV, and I'm just doing that ESPN, Disney Plus, Hulu package,
Yep.
which is interesting. I hope, and I think that there will be a return to focusing on us middle of the bell curve fans, because there's just so much money to be made there.
Because it has to be the bulk of the audience base, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. Also, do you think that there's a difference in how people are using data when it comes to just like male and female preferences too?
Yes. I don't know that it's always intelligent. I mean, we see the women prefer slots, men prefer sports betting. Going deeper than that, I haven't seen anything amazing yet. My girlfriend breaks news to me all the time because of her Instagram feed.
Mm-hmm.
She follows things like the DraftKings social account, which is great.
Yeah.
Because it talks to her in English, not geek, not jock.
Right.
And it is, this person's dating this person just broke up with that person, they had a bad game. And she's telling me all this stuff because she finds it interesting in a way that I think a lot of sports media is moving towards, but I feel like they should be moving faster.
Yeah.
There are so many folks that want to get into sports, but it's hard to watch your favorite team.
Yeah.
Like, I live in Austin. I want to watch Austin FC, but I don't want to get Apple TV just to do it.
Right.
I'm not going to stumble upon it on the channels just flipping through.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's something there where I think male-female is a big part of it, but pop culture, I think, is really the hook that needs to be exploited more. And I think it can with smart social, just smart branding, smart media in general.
Yeah. I mean, I think there was a huge influx last year, the past 2 years, with Caitlin Clark and going into the W. I mean, that's been a huge resurgence. And that's actually, it was almost 50%. It was almost equal, the men and women betting on WNBA games, which is crazy. And the college games too. I mean, Taylor going to the Chiefs, that's been huge.
Yes.
That's been so profitable for them too.
And fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a Swiftie by any means, but I love what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
I love that it's making people irritated.
Yes.
I'm like, let's do something new. Like, this is great. So I think it's fantastic. I think it's fascinating how it's like absolutely just caused a whole new wave of people interested in the NFL suddenly. And in the Chiefs. They have to be, I mean, man, I hope she gets royalties because she is bringing in so much money for them.
It's fascinating how fandom starts and how many new Chiefs fans we'll have over the past few years and the next few.
Yeah.
But then you look at things like, I keep hearing anecdotes from friends with kids in the 7 to 12 range of young boys who adore Caitlin Clark and want to watch everything she does.
I love that.
And that is fascinating to me. I grew up in the 90s Knicks sort of era. That was my team. And the idea of watching women's sports outside of the Olympics,
Right.
it was just never on TV.
No.
and that kids that young are able to just see sport, see someone doing something that they've never seen before.
Yeah.
Before they think of it as weird and novel.
Yeah.
To them, it's not novel. It's just
Right.
Caitlin Clark doing Caitlin Clark things.
I love that. Growing up, all I can think of is the only female athletes I knew, they were Olympians. But I will say, it's still just with every other sport that's not like the mainstream, it's very hard to find women's sports on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go into a sports book, they're not playing, unless it's the US Open or the French Open, like they're not playing just regular women's sports games like volleyball or anything like that. It's like 17 versions of golf and like 2 games. Like I don't know who's watching it, but yeah, I would love it if they catered more to that. Yeah.
And to me, that's the opportunity. The last perfect game in baseball was Herman on the Yankees. And I grew up in Brooklyn. I'm a big Yankees fan. And I was sitting in a sports bar in San Diego. In a sports bar, Hillary. And there was tons of things on, and the Yankees game was nowhere to be found.
What?
And it was me watching on my phone, and a guy on the other side of the room watching on his phone for a perfect game. And if they can't get that right, getting into, for some people, arguably niche women's sports is so far away. And that drives me crazy. Mm-hmm. There is so much great content, yet we've all been there when we've been sitting at a bar and ESPN News is on half of the channels because there's no one's taking the time to move it over.
Yeah.
We have so much content in sports, and it's so valuable in real time. We just need to do a better job, whether it's a random sports bar or it's a top-tier sports book. Curating the content is the most important thing we can be doing, which is self-serving and biased to say, but there's so much opportunity there.
Well, there's so much money to be made.
Yes.
It just feels kind of silly that they're so small-minded, it feels.
They are. They are. I will say it louder for you. They absolutely are, and it's infuriating.
Yeah.
But sports is the only DVR-resistant genre left on TV. It has a shelf life. If you catch it live, before it's been spoiled by all your friends, it is a different value in the same way that I haven't watched Succession yet. I feel like I'm the only person who hasn't watched Succession yet.
It's so good. Okay.
But I feel like I can sit and watch it and still get 95% of the joy. Mm-hmm. I can't watch a game from last weekend, and it's just not the same.
That's true. Do you have any good gaming stories?
Ooh, I can go for a deep one.
Okay.
My first time ever in Vegas. I was 21, and I just moved to Austin. And the company I'd worked for was a fascinating tech company. They've written books about this company. Just a really interesting way to bring people in. So they brought in 150 of us fresh out of college. We're all making more money than we should. And we go through this boot camp just to get up to speed. And if we hit our goals as a 150-person group, the owner was going to fly us to Vegas. We hit our goals, we do. 98% of us think had never been to Vegas before. And the shenanigans we got into is another story. But my favorite, most memorable moment is we had this tradition called L2K. It stood for Lose $2,000.
Okay.
Where 35 of us in our cohort all bet $2,000 on the roulette wheel at once.
Oh my God.
Now that was too rich for my blood, but I will never forget seeing 35 of my friends all with $2,000 on the line and seeing that ball start spinning. Mm-hmm. And a buddy of mine won $72,000, paid off all his student loans, and had one of the best nights of his life.
That's crazy. Yeah. Does everybody else still talk to him?
He's living in Amsterdam, last I checked.
Okay.
So yeah, I see him on LinkedIn every once in a while.
All right, but nobody just wrote him off because he didn't like.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
No, we were all in it together
all
for
in
the
on it.
most part.
We knew. Yeah. Okay. Got it. What do you think about? You were saying sweeps is on its way out. You mentioned prediction markets. Where do you think we're going to be with that?
I think sweeps are on the way out. Absolutely. I think it's too close to loot boxes. I think state representatives have heard about these loot boxes in video games. We'll tie the two together. I don't think sweeps are going to last long. Prediction markets, I think, is very interesting. They have political heft behind them because of the current administration and the folks that are on their board. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Kalshi specifically, but a lot of folks are following in their wake. That South Park just put out a predictions market episode is telling.
Are you serious?
Yeah, very recent. I haven't watched it yet. I'm very curious how they went after it.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it went over most people's heads, but that they're touching on it is interesting.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who see sports gambling as a negative, but I don't think the polls of how people feel about sports betting maps to what they think about prediction markets, because people don't know what they are yet.
Right.
To me, and again, I like stating my bias, as someone who works with operators and they are my bread and butter, I should say legal regulated operators, the prediction markets coming in don't have any responsible gaming aspects, are completely flying blind. I shouldn't say flying blind. That's not fair. They're able to do whatever they want without any oversight.
Yep.
And things like, is the United Healthcare CEO shooter gonna get arrested or gonna go, like, all that sort of stuff is so vile. Will there be a sex toy thrown on the court of this next WNBA game?
Right.
That there isn't any regulatory structure around that has me rooting against them. Do I think they're not going to make it? I am not sure. I think they might, because of the current structure of the CFTC and the movement that they have so far. So I think their valuations at the moment are ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I see sweeps disappearing quickly. I don't feel the same way about prediction markets.
Someone came on here recently and they predicted that if the next 4 years go the same way that they have gone, there's no way they're going anywhere. Like, it will be, yeah.
And I think that's right. I really do.
I mean, it's hard because it's not that they're choosing not to be regulated.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there's no laws regulating them yet.
Yeah.
So are they really, truly in the wrong? Or do we all just say, hey, we don't like you just because you're not regulated and that's not safe, but become regulated and you'll be fine?
Right.
Is that kind of the vibe?
I mean, and the CFTC is headless, so it's not that they could. And so I think that's a fair point. I think what gets to me is the continued chest thumping that they're not sports betting. Mm-hmm. I think that's what gets me the most. Okay. If you're going to cut in the side door, just say, hey, we're cutting in the side door. We're sports betting. Come on down. We're going to have some fun until they tell us that we can't. Yeah. For me, it is the disingenuousness that, oh, no, we're something completely different from sports betting is what drives me crazy. So I think as they realize that that's where the money's going to come from them, I think that stance will get harder and harder as they become more overtly just sports betting in a different flavor. I agree that they're not going anywhere anytime soon.
Do you feel like that's going to affect the game itself? Because there's been obviously big speculation about, who was it? The Packers. They said that, they threw the game, for whatever reason. Do you think that that's the fear of the regulators? Like, oh, if we regulate this, then that puts the actual athletes at risk. Do you think that's realistic?
I think folks like Polymarket, or I think it was Kalshi actually, who very proud of themselves for getting the 24 presidential election correct, but ignored the fact that they got the New York City mayor Democratic primary completely wrong. And so I think there's a lot of picking and choosing. Mm-hmm. And so I think if you look at their accuracy from a market perspective, to me, they're not very accurate. So I don't think that this model of sports betting should cause any more hand-wringing on integrity than anything else.
Okay.
I think it'll always be a risk no matter what. But I don't think these jokers will have more of an impact than anyone else.
Okay, that's fair.
And I say jokers lovingly.
Well, who do you think should come on the podcast next?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff going on with startups, with big folks. I like to rail on AI because it's overused, but occasionally there's some good stuff coming out.
I just feel overwhelmed by all the AI. It's kind of like that in payments. Like, there's just so many. I don't really know what is happening, but it just feels,
I feel the same way.
It's like the same product, different label, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just maybe.
And I feel bad when people say, what cool thing have you seen in AI? I'm like, nothing?
I don't know.
But Better Collective did come out with something called Playbook recently that I really liked.
Okay.
And it's an ability to scan like an image, pick apart the bets in it, and automatically create a parlay from it.
What?
So if someone's like taking a picture of bet slip and putting it on social,
Okay.
it can discern what's being talked about and give you a one-click link to go make that bet. That is badass. I really like that.
That's really cool.
Outside of that, I don't see much.
Okay.
So, I mean, I would err on the side of the OGs that I like hearing talk. I think about someone like a Jamie Garcia at Continent 8. I really like hearing her talk. I like her brain. I like the way she thinks about things. I think there are, to get on my soapbox again for a little bit, I mean, there's voices that we don't hear a lot of and should hear more of.
Yeah.
You know, anyone in the Defy the Odds family.
Okay.
I think Sue Schneider, Paris Smith, and Kelly are creating an interesting community trying to find folks that are underestimated.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll throw out those two names.
Yeah. Okay. I think you threw out several, right?
I'll do what I can.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. I like all those people. That was one of the key points I made when I came on the podcast at first. And they'll say this all day long themselves, but they were like, "You should come on," and I was like, "You don't have any women on here." Like, looking at your past, you had 3 over this whole time.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Yeah, no, we get it. It was kind of a boys' club. We're trying to
Yeah.
correct that." I'm like, I get it. Like, this wasn't like your main thing, but
Yeah.
you had 3. There are many interesting people and interesting voices to be heard. So I will take any unique voice that you don't feel
I
has
love it.
been, heard enough.
Happy to put my thumb on the scale anytime.
Yes. Well, this has been so fun, Mark.
Always
so
fun
great
catching
to
up.
see you again. Yeah, good luck at G2E. All those meetings.
I'm going to hydrate. I'm going to wear my comfy shoes, and I'm
Yes.
going to vitamin like crazy and hope for the best.
Yes, so much Purell. Awesome. Well, thanks so much.
It's great seeing you. Thank you.